Hey guys, we're back for another review of Sisters. We're on season 9, episode 22, entitled The Hangover. We are at the season finale. Finally, we are 22 episodes in, and it's time for a break. Even though I think it's going to be back in January, very quickly, but here we are. So we are getting up, everybody's kind of getting up the next morning from the going away shenanigans for Karen the night prior, and we're all just kind of reeling in our decisions from the night prior based on our particular substances that we were under, okay? So Andy's home, and her mama wakes her up, with a pillow to the head and some pancakes, and Andy is trying to nurse a very nasty hangover, but she feels like it was all worthwhile, like she had the time of her life. So her mama offers to make her some pancakes, and Andy is kind of taken aback because she's like, girl, this ain't our relationship. What's really going on? Because we expect mama to be, waking her up with some criticism, or something negative about her not being married, not having children, everything that's been happening thus far. But of course, mama has something that she needs to confess, which is going to happen later on within the episode. So yeah, so we're just kind of buttering her up to give her the bad news that's going to come later on. Meanwhile, Sabrina is kind of getting up from the night before as well, and she's looking around and she's kind of hazy and she's confused as to how she got out of her clothes from the night prior into her pajamas, trying to figure out what the hell done went on. She stumbles to the living room and we see Rich, and he's asleep on the couch, and he wakes up and he says that he took her home last night. Zach told her that she was at the gay club throwing up. Zach told Rich that Sabrina was at the gay club. I think she was kind of throwing up, and he went to make sure that she got home safely. So very honorable, very nice. And he says that he claims that him and Sabrina were talking, and she told him that, Rich, I miss you, and for him to take her home, and all those old feelings kind of were bubbling back up to the surface. And you can kind of see the softness come back into her eyes for him, and she offers him a cup of coffee. So it seems as if Sabrina has some forgiveness to give Rich, and that's what we're gonna have to deal with next season, because at some point she does tell Danny over the phone like she thinks she wants him back. She thinks she wants him back. So it's not my vote, but here we are. Okay. Danny is waking up from the night before, and Mr. Officer is in her bed. I saw somebody on the World Wide Web somewhere said that they think that Mr. Officer is a plant from Penelope. I don't know if it's to infiltrate the girl group and to get information back to her, or what that is, because we did see him hitting on Andy, and we did see him hitting on Danny. Danny just happened to be the one to fall for the okie doke the night prior. She doesn't really know how they got there. She knows that she, agreed to roll around in the sack with him, not as many times as they did, but he's kind of laying there looking like a proud chicken, and he claims that they went round for round the night before, and we know that this is going to go all bad, right? Right. Okay. So Andy is kind of sitting there just chatting with her mom, and she's knee deep in the pancakes, and the mom is like, girl, we hear that she was going to Bible study, and we see the mama looking at the side of her face like, okay, girl, Bible study. But we'll learn about that Bible study later on in the episode. Anyway, her mama's like, girl, I need you to put the pancakes down for a second, and I got to tell you something. She finally comes clean and tells Andy that she is there because she has been diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. And of course, this is a shock to Andy because not only is this not the nature of their relationship, but this is potentially detrimental news that she's coming across. It's just a lot going on. But she does tell Andy that it's been 2 weeks since her diagnosis, and she didn't really want to bother her with the information, but here we are. It hasn't spread, but it hadn't gotten any better, and it hadn't gotten any worse. She's not quite sure, and of course Andy, being the daughter that she is and the person that she is, she wants to offer solutions, and she's like, I know you got good doctors in Florida, but we have even better doctors here in Atlanta. You can move here, I can help you out. And mama's like, no ma'am, don't want that. And she's like, okay, cool, I've been looking for a change of scenery, I can come to Florida to help you out. No ma'am, don't want that either. And she's like, mama, like this is news, I want to help you, like what can I do? And Mama's like, the only thing you can do is pray with me, girl. So they sit there and they have a little moment where Andy's breaking down, but they're having this prayer just for Mama's well-being, and we hope everything works out well with Mama when it comes to the diagnosis. Okay, so we see Sabrina and Rich, and they are chatting, and I think she's trying to tell him, like, last night really turned a corner for her. Don't know how she could have made that decision in sound mind, considering she was under 2 different substances. But anyway, he tells her, like, yeah, listen, I'm just here to let you know that I'm going to respect your boundaries. I'm willing to fall back. I know that you still hate me after everything that happened with Penelope and the in vitro thing, and I just want to respect the guidelines that you put in place, and I won't be popping up anymore. I won't be coming at your job, and I'm only hoping that we can be friends at the end of all of this. And like I said, she keeps trying to cut in as if she wanted to say that she changed her mind about how she feels about him, but instead of expressing that, she just says, you know, she just offers him a simple thank you. Not sure if this is something they can come back from, but what happens at the end of the episode, which we'll talk about, might be the thing. Like, okay, maybe our issues is not that big. Maybe it's time to put all that stuff aside and just predict that Rich is going to be back in Sabrina's life. So, yeah. All right, so we see Danny. Danny is trying to get Mr. Officer up out of there. She's like, listen, last night was good. It was a good time, but I got this. We got to go. And then we see Tony. He comes rolling in, of course, using his key. I don't even know how he got in there, because I thought Danny took her key back when she put him out. Whatever. And he's like, you know, who the hell is this? And Tony's going off, and the two, they get to scrambling and fighting. Very much the most curated, most awkward fight I've ever seen on TV, but whatever. They get to fight, and they're tearing up that lady's stuff in her apartment. And Danny has to physically jump into the middle of them to get them to stop all this fighting that she got going on. And Mr. Officer is like, you know, no wonder you put him out. Like, I can see why you feel how you feel about him. Just giving up privy information. And so Tony lets Danny have it. And he's like, you know, we only been broken up a couple days. Blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I know. I'm sorry. I did it. Whatever. Let me explain. He's like, nah, don't even say my name, chick. Like, I ain't even doing it. So he storms out. And all I can say is, girl, you wanted him gone. He wasn't pulling his weight. It wasn't really working out. If you wanted him gone, that'll do it. That'll do it. That's not the most opportune way to get rid of him, but maybe we're done with Tony. Y'all think Tony gonna be in the next season? Y'all let me know what y'all think. I just think they were a odd pairing, honestly. I don't think they was gonna work out anyway. I think Preston was a better fit for Danny, but that ship has sailed as well. So yeah. All right. So OG Mr. Keys, he is standing outside Zach's house. He's about to go in for the cookout, but he answers a phone call, and whoever's on the other line, he tells him, like, listen, this ain't the right time. This is my only son. So it appears as if he's alluding to the fact that he is Zach's dad instead of Zach's dad's best friend. So sure, that's going to come out next season, whatever that clarification is going to be. If that is his dad, Zach is going to have an even bigger problem, because, sir, you coming back into my life under disguise ain't gonna work either. Either way, we see Fatima. She's up on the balcony and she overhears him. She already had her suspicions about him, so of course she gonna have some angst and some problems when it comes to Mr. Keys as well. All right, so Fatima's mama stops by to tell her, coincidentally, that she was able to get transferred to a base that is about 45 minutes out from where they're going to be in Seattle. So that's good news. They're going to have a babysitter. They're going to have some support out there. Congratulations. But what was funny is homegirl is a Marine, but she's standing there in Army fatigues. That was hilarious. That was just a very minor oversight. Had you just asked 1 or 2 Marines, you probably could have got that outfit right. But, you know, whatever. What do I know? That was just funny. And it just funny, but also very much aggravating, because that was just surface level research that we all could have figured out. All right. Paige calls Sabrina because she left her vault key at home, and there's like 10 customers there kind of waiting, and the bank is open. We got to get these customer service. So Sabrina's like, dang, Paige, like, you really set me back. I'm going to be really late to my homegirl's cookout, but I'm swing by real quick to bring you the key. So she's on the way to bring the key to Paige so she could get into the vault and do what she needs to do. And as she is headed that way, I'm not sure if Sabrina ran the light or the other car ran the light or what happened, but her car is T-boned, and we see the slow motion scene where Sabrina's car flips over and has landed upside down. And so Sabrina's future is up in the air. We don't know what has happened to her. Of course, everybody's going to be looking for her at the cookout, and we can't find her because she's been in this accident. Unfortunately, it's not the only accident that's going to happen in the season finale. And like I said, everybody's just sitting around at the cookout. Andy brings her mama to the cookout, and we see Andy's mama and Mr. Keys has this familiarity when greeting each other. They kind of give each other a familiar, hey, how you doing? How you been? How you people them? And I assume that their history was far, far, far way back, like back when they were kids, and it seems to be a little more recent, which ties into this whole Bible study thing. So I wonder what they got going on. Either way, there's some history between the two. Mom and Mr. Keys over in the corner talking, and Andy's looking like, I don't really like that. But Mama and Mr. Keys are talking, and they're talking about how they ended up shutting down the bar, which means you're there for hours and hours and hours until the place closes, and it's really you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here type of carrying on. And they swapped like some good times in the past, but not that far past. It seems like her mama, so mama was telling Mr. Keys, hey, the night that we had out, you need to keep that between us. Because mama's giving this holy roller persona, like handing out Bible scriptures to people, that type of aura. So girl, you ain't got to business shutting out no bars, no clubs, no nothing, based on your criticisms of everybody else. But anyway, mama does tell him, like, she told Andy that she was at Bible study. Remember she was going to Bible study the whole time. She's been here visiting Andy, and she must have been out with Mr. Keys tearing the city down. That's really what it was given. So, and I'm not mad at it because, girl, you have a cancer prognosis. Alcohol might not be the best Band-Aid, but we all got our means of coping. So I ain't really mad at you. Like I said earlier, everybody's kind of standing around trying to figure out where Sabrina is. Everybody's calling. Karen wants to, give her a hug before they go. And of course, nobody can find her. And Karen and Aaron and Baby Faith, they got to go. So they got to say their goodbyes. So they say they're temporary goodbyes while they go off to Seattle. And that's it. She doesn't get a chance to say goodbye to Sabrina. Hopefully that's not a bad omen for what's going to happen next season. Just putting that out there. Either way, so now they're off to Seattle, and everybody's still trying to figure out where the hell Karen is, but they gotta go. So this is Karen's exit from the show. Don't know if she'll be back next season. Not sure. Anyway, we're kind of all standing around outside, and Karen has left. Karen, the baby, and Aaron have left, and Andy's car alarm is going off. So we're like, girl, what's going on with your car? And so everybody's headed back into the house. Everybody said their goodbyes. Andy's like, okay, girl, let me go check on this car and see what the sound is about. Everybody's walking back into the house. Andy walks this way to go see what's going on with her car. Walks around the corner, and before everybody can get back to the door to get back inside, we hear an explosion. And we're assuming that this is Andy's car that has exploded. Now, we don't know what has happened to Andy's. Has she been in an explosion? Has not? Why has her car exploded? All the questions that we got going on. And all I can say is, child, this was a lot. These last 2 episodes had a lot in it. And of course, we got a lot of stuff that we gotta try to give some cliffhangers about, and some things we gotta wrap up to finish out the season. But here we go. What happened to Sabrina? Let's just hope she's in a very bad accident and she's going to be in the hospital, trying to recover in season 10. Andy, maybe I'm just going to make an assumption that she was not in the car. Maybe she didn't make it because the explosion was so quick. It was like everybody turned around to walk towards the door, and the explosion happened before they could even get close enough to the door. So let's just assume she didn't make it, and it might have blew her back. She wasn't in the car. I don't know. Now, why her car would have blown up, I don't know. Maybe that's a Penelope thing that was set up. And at this point, girl, you need to let it go. I don't know. I don't know why her car would have exploded. Not sure if because somebody already tried to kill Andy this at the end of last season, right? That was Gary's ex-wife. I don't know why we still trying to kill Andy. At this point, girl, you need to go to Seattle as well because it's just entirely too much. Either way, predictions for next season. Sabrina's in the hospital. You know, she has a journey that she's going to be on to get better. Andy wasn't in the car. It just blew her back, and we're just going to find her injured on the ground somewhere. Karen and Aaron and Baby Faith, they're in Seattle, so I'm just going to assume they're removed from the show. Let's just assume the actor that plays Karen has some other projects that she's working on. Zach is going to find out that Mr. Keys is his dad and not his dad's best friend. They're going to have some contention, but eventually come back together. Fatima is just going to have this beef with Mr. Keys that's going to be long-standing. Tony, let's just hope he's gone. Let's just go ahead and break that up and get Sabrina a new love interest that is not Mr. Officer. Yeah, Maurice is going to be parlaying around with that white man. And that's about all I got. We're going to see a lot of shenanigans when it comes to Maurice and Pam, now that they're business owners, as well as Danny. That's going to be an interesting Three Stooges. So we'll see what happens. Either way, that has been season 9. The season is over. We get a little bit of a break. Let me know what y'all think is going to happen in the next episode, or what you think about this finale in the comments, and we'll talk about it there. In the meantime, like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. I'll see you in the next episode, and I'll see y'all next season. Peace.